Today on Beyond the Details, the Ferrari F40. Consider this your backstage pass to the Ferrari F40. We're going to walk you around the car, look at a few different things that we'll need to take care of, including the plexiglass rear window, inside here with all its beautiful Kevlar and weave that most people never see. And we'll go into the interior and you'll take a look at some of the raw materials that are in there as well. This is a really in-depth inside look that most people don't have access to. So join us now for our journey. As we walk around the F40, we have a lot of work to do on this car, so let's get started. So we're going to get started in the engine compartment. We'll just give it a quick once over, get some of this cleaned up. The car has very low miles on it, although it looks like it's been driven pretty hard. So we're going to go through this, clean up, and then eventually we'll get up here and we're going to polish that beautiful Lexan rear window. So a little different, not many cars on the road that have that sort of thing, but you'll see as we go along, those kind of things are what makes the F40 really special. Just going to finish up on the top of the engine compartment here. It's kind of interesting when we look in here, you'll see later that all these pieces are hand painted with a brush. Not exactly the nicest finish we've ever seen, but it is interesting how these cars were put together. So we're going to clean up here. We'll do clean up inside the shell itself and then start polishing the rear window. Just going to lay down some plastic across the top of the motor after it. Now it's all clean. So we'll put this down so when we're polishing, we don't get too much sling on the engine compartment. All right, time to get started on the Lexan. So what we're going to do is we'll hit it with a quick detailer first just to get the dust off of it. It's pretty clean, but somebody's been in here a couple of times with looks like a wet towel or something and really messed it up. So we're going to go through this, both sides. It's a little difficult to reach. It's not going to be an easy process. It'll probably look pretty terrible. Once we get that done, we're going to use a simple polish on the inside. I use a polish that's made for airplane canopies. And it comes in a 3-step process, but in this case, we won't need the third very aggressive step. We'll just do 2 steps on the inside and then we'll come outside and do another 2 steps to polish it. Bear with me, it's gonna be really fun trying to get in here and bend backwards and upside down. And then we'll come back in with the buffer and get this thing going. So we're using the softest foam pad we have and just kind of smearing it around a little bit. We're going to work this in with the buffer, very slow speed. The thing about working plastics like this is you're on the side of caution. You want to just keep it building slow, constant speed, not anything too quickly. You don't want to burn and melt. Not that you can really do that with Lexan because it's a very, very durable finish. But on the other hand, why risk it? So I'm just going to buff this off now. We'll close the clamshell up and we'll start polishing the outside. starting to cut pretty well. I may go over this with a little bit heavier cut in a couple of small spots just to get some of the streaks out, because it appears that someone had, I guess, washed the car at one time and it wasn't, or wiped the car down dry or something and scratched them. Let's see if we can maybe get a little bit more aggressive on those on the sides. But for the most part, it's certainly clear. It looks a whole lot better from my perspective, but it's a lot brighter and a lot clearer. Okay, so we finished polishing the rear plexiglass here. We're going to move on to the interior next. We've taken the plastic out of here and the tape off the glass and given it a final dusting to make sure that we try to hit every spot. Doesn't mean we did, but we did the best we could. Inevitably, just like every other glass thing I work on, there'll always be something that I miss. So before the car leaves, we always want to double check that. Okay, so it's time to move on to the interior. So open this up. We'll give it a quick wipe down and then we're going to move on to the front trunk. So have you been here all day?
Mm-hmm, all day. Is that a problem?
No, not at all.
Do I have to leave?
It's up to you. You're gonna have to move at some point or start cleaning with me.
Oh, I'm out. Wait, hold on, I'm out. Come on.
So that was Jason Cammisa, in case you didn't know. And we really appreciate him loaning us his studio for the week. And we've had a great time here, but I hope he doesn't come back. All right, time to get back to work. We're gonna start on the interior again and see how far we can get. It looks like I have some cleaning up to do on the driver's side I wasn't expecting. So as this is only a 3,000 mile F40, there really isn't a whole lot to do in here. Going to just close the door and hopefully you can take a look and see the door panel itself. And I'll explain why in a second. So in an effort to save weight, it has roll-up windows and this. This is your door pull. So it's no longer like modern cars where you've got electric, a little key fob that locks and unlocks the doors. This is bare bones, literally, as possible. All carbon fiber here, carbon Kevlar doors, and the roll-up windows, all in an effort to save weight. We're just about finished in here, so we're going to move on to the front trunk and take it from there. So just a couple of quick things. You know, this is all carbon Kevlar. It's just beautifully finished in here, surprisingly. It's really nicely done for an area you'll never see. One of the things that you probably noticed in the interior is they use this funky green epoxy on everything. So it's a green sealant that runs around all these edges. You can especially see it in the interior around the base of the floor. So no idea why it's green. It couldn't have been gray, but I guess somebody was really proud of their stuff. Anyway, it's just a really cool feature. I've never seen any other Ferrari with it, so I just thought it was interesting to point out. We're going to continue wiping the car down. We'll do this, the front suspension and the brake ducts, and we'll kind of work our way around. And then we'll come back to final detail. So I wish all inside fender wells were this easy to clean. I mean, this is awesome. Okay, so we're just about finished in here in the front trunk area. Not a frunk, it's not a Tesla. And we're going to move on now to a little bit of detailing. We want to go around all the badges and all the little details around the car. It looks like someone's been in here a few times with wax. And we'll do a final wipe down of the car and get it ready for delivery. One of the ways you could tell if an F40 in particular has been painted or if it's had any kind of work done to it, because it looks too perfect. Just to give you an idea, you can see the texture in here that surrounds the fuel cap. And then in here, the weave is starting to show through the paint. So it's really kind of difficult to see and maybe difficult to see in the camera, but just to give you an idea, it looks like the weave itself is pulling up through the paint, and that's normal. When an F40's been painted, the biggest mistake the painters make is they fill it in and make it smooth, and of course then color sand and buff it so it looks too perfect. But it's never perfect. That's what makes an F40 so special. The weave you see on here is also the weave you'll see out here. Pretty amazing. So thanks for joining us on this episode of Beyond the Details. Today we had the chance of spending a lot of time with this F40, cleaning the rear window, we did the interior, we did some polishing and a lot of detail work that we don't normally do, but I think it came out pretty well. Also, it's just an incredible car to have in our studio. So if there's a car that you think that we should be doing on Beyond the Details, drop a comment below. If you loved our show, please like and subscribe and stay tuned for the next episode.